Well, greetings once again. This is Dr. Bill Bailey, and this is the Handheld Hack. The Handheld Hack is the blog and the video netcast that talks about handheld devices. And I have my handheld device, my tablet, right here with me. We are proud members of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on the Handheld Hack netcast. And we want to talk about a few things this week on the Handheld Hack. And one of which is kind of an old item here. This goes all the way back to September, middle of September. But there was a demo that was done at an Apple event called the Clumsy Ninja Demo. And I've actually got a video here on the website that you can watch the demo. But, you know, and I'm not big on Apple. You know, I'd love to have an Apple MacBook Pro, don't get me wrong. But I don't have one, so I'm not that into the Apple world. I don't have an iPad, I don't have an iPhone. Kind of out of the loop when it comes to Apple. But Apple has been working on this particular technology. Imagine an interactive, artificially intelligent game character. Kind of reminds me of an intelligent version of the old Tamagotchi. You remember the Tamagotchi thing that kids had that, you know, they would have to feed it, exercise it. You know, if you didn't talk to it every so often, it would get lonely and not thrive and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of creepy in some ways, but anyway, just saying. But this Clumsy Ninja, the idea of this is it's an artificially intelligent game character that is trying to be a ninja, but is not so good at it. And you have to train it to learn to be a ninja. And it is artificially intelligent, and it's using AI technology to make it an interesting character. It can, quote, learn. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. Watch the demo video. It's really pretty neat. All right, speaking of the iPhone, next item here. The iPhone gets knocked out in 2012 Q4 sales. Whoa. How did that happen? Because of the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now, me personally, I would love to have an S3 myself, okay? And apparently, so would a whole lot of people, because people started buying up Samsung's Galaxy S3, and it overtook the iPhone 4S as the world's best-selling smartphone in Q3 of 2012. Samsung's flagship Galaxy S3 handset usurped the Apple iPhone 4S as the world's best-selling smartphone. Now, that's not comparing to the Apple 5, which, of course, they didn't have figures for this particular quarter. So we'll see. I suspect Apple will bounce back with the iPhone 5. But, you know, the leader is vulnerable. Just saying. All right, Black Friday. We just had Black Friday as I record this, and they call it Black Friday, which I find to be a kind of a depressing name. But the idea is that it is the one day a year that people are off work, they can shop, and all the stores have sales. So it's kind of the perfect storm event for people buying a lot of stuff. And they're saying that it will fuel tablet growth because a lot of people will be buying various tablets as gifts for Christmas. And so they expect there to be a spike in tablet sales. Now remember, the prediction is that we're in the post-PC era. And so PC sales are dropping. Matter of fact, tremendously dropping, to the point that a lot of PC manufacturers like Dell and so forth are kind of sweating a bit here. But tablet sales are increasing. And the handheld devices, as we know right here on the Handheld Hack, is kind of where it's at. And so that's where people are headed. So Black Friday sales are going to be driving that even harder. All right, next item here and last item for this particular netcast is that there's an Atlanta lawmaker calling for a ban on handheld devices for drivers. Well, yeah. You know, people talk about don't text while you drive. That's for sure. And you don't want to be using your tablet while you drive either. Keep your eyes on the road, folks. But anyway, This particular lawmaker in Atlanta is saying there needs to be a ban on handheld devices while driving. Yeah. It's kind of funny that they feel like they have to legislate what should be common sense. You can't very well use a tablet if you should have your hands on the steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? 10 and 2. Okay? Wow. I found this article both sad and funny at the same time. The fact they even need to talk about it is crazy. I mean, believe me, I'm a big fan of handheld devices, but not when I'm driving. There's a whole lot of things I don't do while I'm driving. Now, I won't say that I haven't, in the past done some stupid things. Sorry, I have. Particularly when I lived in Dallas, Texas. I'll tell off on myself here a bit. Oh boy. When I lived in Dallas, I had a commute. Now, it was only about a 15-minute drive from my house to work if the roads were clear. Well, guess what? The roads were rarely, if ever, clear in Dallas. And I had to drive. It was like an hour and a half drive every day into work and every evening home from work, okay? And literally it was bumper to bumper traffic. Now, when I say bumper to bumper traffic, I'm talking seriously bumper to bumper. You were out on an interstate with 6 lanes of highway and nobody was moving. You're sitting there. Well, I will confess to occasionally breaking out a Star Trek book and reading while I'm sitting in my car waiting for the guy ahead of me to move. I had to keep my peripheral vision so that if he moved, I could inch forward. And I mean seriously, inch. So that's a little different than, getting behind the wheel and tapping on your iPad while you're driving at 60 miles an hour. Duh. But anyway, I shouldn't have been doing it in Dallas either with bumper traffic. This was, of course, before iPads or tablets or anything of that nature. It was a paperback book. It was pre-Kindle, pre-everything. But anyway, I know I've been bad. But I survived. And hopefully the folks in Atlanta will too. Particularly if they get their handheld devices banned. Can't you see the cop pulling you over? Sorry, sir, you're using an iPad. I'll have to take that away from you. Check with me after school. People are crazy. Anyway, so I don't know. That just strikes me funny that there's some legislator somewhere that feels like it's incumbent upon him to ban handheld devices while you're driving. Come on. Anyway, remember, you're only as good as your last hack.